have a problem with modern horror movies. They don't scare me anymore. In fact, actually none of them really scare me a whole lot. In the past 3 years, every single horror movie that I have seen has not scared me the slightest. And just non-stop. Now don't get me wrong, regular moviegoers do find jump scares scary. But personally me, I don't find them scary after 20 freaking times it's happened in every single movie. But my friends find every modern horror movie to be the scariest thing on the planet. They found Smile to be actually scary. Smile. A movie about people who smile at you creepily. And that's terrifying? I mean, this could be just me, but I have a sick type of horror movies that I do enjoy because I do find them probably more disturbing than anything else that comes out nowadays. Alright, you might be asking, what is the scariest movie I've ever seen, since I'm such a pro at not being scared? Well, it's a little movie you may have heard of that came out back in 1993. It had kind of a small budget. Not many people knew about it when it came out, but the movie is called Jurassic Park. Now you might be thinking to yourself, really? Jurassic Park? Jurassic Park was the movie that scared you? What balls do you have? Okay, that's pretty fair to ask, but I was 3 years old when I watched this movie, and when I first watched it, I was absolutely terrified of it. When I was about 3 years old, I was really into dinosaurs. I would pretty much watch anything, play with dinosaur toys, anything that involved dinosaurs. And so was my brother. My brother was really into dinosaurs too. So when I was 3 years old, he showed me Jurassic Park thinking I'd love it, but it had the exact opposite effect on me. Now hear me out. It's not the actual whole movie itself that really terrified me. It was one specific scene in the movie itself that gave me nightmares and made me just absolutely terrified whenever Jurassic Park came on. Because, happily so, the scene that scared me to death as a kid, it happens to be one of the greatest scenes ever to be in cinematic history.
Dr. Grant?
The T-Rex escaping the paddock scene will scare me more than any other horror movie that comes out to this day. Nothing has close to ever scared me in any other horror movie like this scene in Jurassic Park. Now, I could go on all day about the amazing other scenes in Jurassic Park that actually still scared me.
Mr. Hammond, I think we're back in business.
But not as many top the tier of this scene actually terrified me. Let's start first from the beginning of the scene. Now, if you analyze the scene in a typical movie format, it plays out like a typical horror movie scenario. It's really slow at the beginning, tension starts to build up, and then there's the scare. But Jurassic Park plays it a little different, I think, in my personal opinion. It builds up to the scare, but the scare doesn't go away like a jump scare. You know how, in a jump scare, something will happen, then, the main character will run away or something, or it'll just disappear? In Jurassic Park, it doesn't go away because one, it's a big dinosaur, and two, this is the first time American audiences have ever seen an actual T-Rex or some form of dinosaur on screen that is realistic. Okay, the scene starts off as Grant, Malcolm, Gennaro, and the kids are all sitting in the cars because the power is shut off. Coincidentally, the cars are outside the T-Rex paddock. Okay, so basically the characters are just messing around, not really doing much, waiting for the power to come back on. But the younger kid, Tim, starts to notice that the water is vibrating and hears something coming. The simple effect of making that water vibrate just made people's hearts start to tense a little bit because it's getting louder and louder every second.
Maybe it's the power trying to come back on.
Soon the characters get distracted on where the goat is for the T-Rex, but the problem is solved very quickly.
Where's the goat?
That was my first ever jump scare and ever seen gore in a movie before. Watching that goat's leg land on top of the car. The cinematography on this scene I think is great because the simple effect of panning up to the sunroof, most people had no idea that there was going to be a jump scare right then and there. Today you can tell that there is because you can tell the camera changes focus onto the sunroof instead of focusing on the girl. But back then you couldn't see that. That was basically a true jump scare back then because there was an effect that really no one saw coming at all. Then we get the big dramatic scene. The scene that everyone has been waiting for. The first time you ever see a full-fledged T-Rex animatronic on the big screen. And it's absolutely beautiful and terrifying at the same time. Before Jurassic Park was made, there was very few dinosaur films out there that were made before Jurassic Park. Usually dinosaurs were stop motion, clay, animated, or some guy in a suit like Godzilla. But none of them went out there to actually make a full-fledged T-Rex animatronic. It's basically as realistic you can get to the real thing, I think, in my opinion. I mean, just look at that thing. Look at that thing staring down at the car. That's terrifying. Imagine having that thing look at you. You would absolutely crap your pants. But that's because it's so masterfully made. They put so much detail into it. It was super effective on me, and I think many audiences had the same reaction as Granado running to the bathroom at that time. The first time that the T-Rex escapes the paddock is probably most people's first time ever seeing a full-fledged CGI dinosaur. I mean, sure, there was CGI dinosaurs before that, but none were as top tier and at least looked pretty decent and real to this. The reactions from the characters is realistic and effective. That was basically the audience's reactions, I think, in my opinion. With the T-Rex attacking the kids, demolishing the car, eating Granado, and just flipping that crap off the freaking paddock, I was absolutely left terrified from what I watched as a kid because I was just stunned about how much I just saw. And that feeling of shock and terror wasn't just in that scene. It was basically for the rest of the movie whenever the T-Rex would pop up, or at least you heard it. So much time and dedication and artwork went into making this T-Rex look realistic, and they pulled it off perfectly. That's why it's so scary. They didn't just want to make it kids terrified, they wanted to make adults terrified. They wanted to make a realistic dinosaur. Now, I had similar reactions to the sequel of Jurassic Park, The Lost World. It didn't terrify me as much as the T-Rex escaping the paddock scene in Jurassic Park. It still gave me that stunned shock that I felt like I couldn't move because I couldn't take my eyes off from what I was watching because I was just shocked and feared. My whole body was just filling with fear. Whether it's just the acting, the realistic characters, the beautiful set design, the beautiful animatronics, or I just have no balls, these scenes scared me as a kid. And the whole movies too. Both movies are very enjoyable to watch. Now these scenes aren't 10 out of 10 grand down perfect. They still have some flaws like any other movie scene would. Yeah, you could say the T-Rex chasing the torch like a dog is really stupid. Or coincidentally when Peter's trying to help save the RV that both T-Rexes come back and eat him. But I kind of just look at these flaws as nitpicking. To me it's just like, are you really gonna let that ruin the movie for you? These were the first two horror movies I have ever watched in my entire life, and I still think that they're scary to this day. I think the new generation today needs to go back and look at the old movie classics to see how much dedication, artwork, effort, and countless hours went into these movies to actually make them scary.
Come and play with us.
Now, if you find modern horror movies today scary, That's totally fine. That's cool. I'm actually glad that you do find them scary. At least someone likes them. And yeah, that's just my opinion. But I actually do find some modern horror movies to be actually good and decently scary. But none of them just top tier as the old classics that scared me as a kid. To me, I find something scary when it's actually there on the screen, not when it's just a big CGI mess. That's also why I don't really find the new Jurassic Park movies to be good. Like, holy crap, they went from this to this. Biggest downgrade ever in history, in my opinion. Like, holy crap. I do not find these scary. They look like they're made for kids. Now, I know CGI can do way much more than animatronics can, but just as simple as it just being there is what makes it scary and realistic in my opinion. I see the effort that goes into it. I'm happy like movies like Five Nights at Freddy's are at least using full-fledged real animatronics that actually look like the characters from the game. Anyways, I hope you guys really enjoyed the video today. Happy Halloween. I hope you guys have a good one. Stay tuned for the FNAF video, and peace out.